Yeah. Yeah.
Alright guys, so here's a little backstory. I picked up this Grom clone, which is, I think it's a Boom Vader. It's a 125. It's got like 700 miles on it. I did the typical exhaust, nibby, carb, big front sprocket. I'm getting like 65 miles an hour running wide open. And I don't really like it, so I'm bored. I'm going to pull this motor out. And I picked up this Hybrid 250. Ain't nothing special. She runs good. And I'm going to motor swap it. I think putting a 250 in this will really make the difference. At least I hope so. So stick around if you guys are interested. With the gas tank off so you can unhook the battery. And then the side cover off so you can actually get in to see things. It's pretty simple. So you've got your wire for your starter. I'm going to leave that on the bike. You've got your stator wires, a little 4-wire plug. And then you've got your shift indicator. And then I'm going to leave my carburetor on this motor. So I just unhooked the slide for now and the fuel tank. And then I took the sprocket off and left the chain hanging. So now that that's all off, there's one bolt right back here and one bolt right there, which I've got nuts on the other side. And with those two bolts out, this motor literally just comes right out. Oh, I forgot to tell you, on this side, obviously you got to take off your spark plug wire and your clutch cable, and there was also a ground wire right here that I unbolted. So yeah, right there's the nut for the one side, nut for the other. Get those off and get this motor out. And with those two bolts pulled, the motor comes right out. That's it. Well, it's time to pick up this, set it to the side, and yank the motor out of that Hybrid. So pulling the motor from the Hybrid is similar. You've got motor bolts here with a bracket. There's a motor bolt up here. There's your two connectors for your stator and your shifter. There's a motor bolt here, there's a motor bolt down here. Your shifter has to come off on this. Spark plug wire, obviously, clutch. You know, the similarities, but a little bit of differences, just more stuff. I also had to pull the carb off to give me some room, and the starter wire. And I should have taken the kickstand off ahead of time, but I didn't. So I'm gonna do that now, get the Hybrid out of the way, and get the Grom back into the work area. So I've got the Hybrid motor sitting in place. I had to drill out the motor mount hole to 3/8, which is a common mod. And I got the top bolt in, but right now I'm hitting right there to swing up. And I actually had this issue before. So I'm gonna have to take this bolt back out, get that one started, and then lift it up in. That's the goal anyways, that's the hope. We'll see how it works out. Stay tuned. The motor is in its final resting place. I still use the original bolt down here, but unfortunately I had to cut this bracket off and move it. This motor is close, but it's just not perfect. It is now, but it wasn't at the time, along with this motor mount. If you get the actual 250 and not this Hybrid, they allegedly bolt right in, but this one, I had to do that. And honestly, while I'm at it, I might even add a motor mount up here. We'll see. But it's coming along. Figuring out a carburetor is going to be a challenge. Alright, with both motor mounts fully welded in now, nice and tight, got all my electronics put back up. I've also pulled the original plug off my motor so I could plug it into the new engine and keep the original harness, which is this one. Originally, the Grom had a 4-wire harness, and this hybrid has a 5. So each wire matches up with this same color. The only extra wire is this black-red. It's not needed. I've got it taped up out of the way. As for the shift indicator, I mean, the plug's the same, but it was completely wired wrong. So I've popped out all the pins and I've gone through them to make sure neutral, first, second, third, and fourth all show on my gauge indicator. Unfortunately, that yellow wire is 5th gear, but I don't have a wire for 5th on my display, and I'm not going to run a wire. It's more work than it's worth. But if you want to see, it's black to the yellow red. This red white goes to the green black. That green solid goes to this green orange-ish. The purple wire goes to this, whatever color you want to call it. And then the brown and white goes to the blue and white. And that'll give you your neutral light, and then 1 through 4 on the display. And like I said, unfortunately, 5th gear is not going to display because I don't have the wire ran. Now I have to get a longer chain because I don't have one. Well, I mean, I got chains I can piece together, I guess, but I don't have a one-piece chain. And I got to find a different sprocket. I got to find the sprocket that came off of this motor because it's not the same as the Grom. And then I got to figure out some type of intake manifold and then the exhaust. I have checked it over. It has spark, so there's no doubt in my mind it's going to run. This is where I'm going to leave off in this video. Tune in to part 2. Thanks, guys. Till the next video.